Hello. You're probably going to hear a fan throughout this entire thing. I'm really sorry, but it's really hot in here. Wait, let's see if I can. Hi. Okay, so we have only got 30 minutes, unfortunately. Let me send it to him. Is it Taj time? No, it's TJ time. It's TJ time, Adam. Let me send it to him then. There you go. We've only got half an hour, so there are only certain questions I can ask. I can't ask all the ones that I have prepared. It's okay. Hopefully my phone will stay on charge. Okay, here we go. Hi. Hi.
Georgia!
Hi, how are you?
I'm excellent. How are you?
Good. I'm really good. I was literally just watching your Q&A on YouTube.
Yes! My
I was
Family Rules Q&A.
Yeah, I was thinking, poor TJ, he's got so many more questions to come.
It's okay. I'm used to it. So, and then, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm excited for this, Georgia. And before we start, I just want to commend you again because I love what you do. I love your energy. I love your spirit. Never lose that.
Thank you.
It's special. It's unique and it's special. So I just wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you. I've got some questions here that will hopefully is easy for you to answer, and then some of them will put you on the spot a little bit. But
Okay.
we've got, they're very random. They're really random, but they're just stuff that we want to know. Okay, so I'll just go for the first one, which is quite a tricky one. What advice would you give to someone who is thinking about joining the music industry?
Oh, that's a good one. The advice I would give in 2020 for someone who's thinking about joining the music industry is to go for it.
Yeah.
Is to not let judgment slow you down, delay you, hold you down. You have to go for it. You have to be comfortable with who you are and comfortable with the fact that you're going to grow, make mistakes. I think you have to have a growth mindset. I think you have to feel you're going to get better and you're going to improve. But I think the key is in today's time, you just start. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said this if it was 20 years ago. Back then, you kind of had to have your whole stuff together because that first look was important. But in today's time, you just go and just do it for the right reasons. You know, do it because you enjoy the art and you enjoy connecting with people and sharing your art. Don't do it for the wrong reasons. Don't do it for the fame. Don't do it for that stuff because it will let you down. That's probably and one more thing, you don't need a company or a big label or anything, you know, to say you're good enough to do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just jump in and do it. That's very important. You know, I think a lot of times we second guess our ability, and I think by doing that it just hinders us, and we have to understand that this is a journey. This is about growing, and we have to be okay showing that.
Yeah, because you've been doing this for a really... How long have you been doing this now?
In music or my journey?
Your journey.
My journey's, uh, yeah, it's coming up on a year. It hasn't even been a full year in terms of releasing to the world.
Wow.
Yeah, my first, I recorded the Somnia video at the end of August, and it released in the beginning of September. So in
Yeah.
September, it will be a year publicly. I had been working on all of that music for years before that, but in terms of coming out as an artist to the world, it hasn't even been a year. It's been like 9 months.
Oh my goodness, that's gone so quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
I...
it's
No, carry on.
no, I was gonna say it feels longer. You know, I've done a lot of videos, I've done a lot of things, but it as TJ Jackson, an artist, it's been 10 months. So
Oh.
I mean, we're closing in on close to 11, but yeah, yeah. What were you gonna say? I want to hear what you were gonna say.
Um, I was gonna say I remember doing the my first makeup look for you, which was for I Don't Deserve This, which was your second you released.
Yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that literally feels like yesterday. That's
Yeah,
insane.
and that song, the video released on January 1st, 2020, on New Year's Day.
Wow. Oh my goodness,
So,
remember that.
yeah, yeah. which was great, by the way, Georgia. All of your makeups. I saw a recent one that you did of Off the Wall. That was
Oh,
really
you
cool.
saw that?
I saw that. It's very cool. I always get amazed by your makeup work. So well done.
Thank you. Okay, this one's actually from my mum because family means a lot to my mum. Do the whole Jackson family get together at like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter? Do you guys do that?
We used to have something called Family Day. Back when I was a youngster, we had Family Day. I want to say it was once a month, and it alternated whose house it would be at. So it could be at my dad's house, then it could be at my Uncle Jackie's house, then it could be at the Havenhurst house. Every month it would change, and the entire family, for the most part, would show up. And I think it was a beautiful thing my family started. Maybe my grandmother, I don't know if it was an uncle, but it was a beautiful thing that my family started to make sure we stay connected in some way.
Yeah.
I think, probably because everyone traveling, but I think in today's time it's been more difficult as you add kids and more responsibility and, grandparents for them. So we don't really practice it the family day. We don't practice the family day, but we usually come together once a year, a couple times a year for something like Thanksgiving. We haven't done it in a while, obviously, because of quarantine, but we usually do it on a day like that. And we don't do it on Thanksgiving. We usually do it the day before or the day after because of my grandmother's religion.
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate those holidays. So we usually do it around that time, around Thanksgiving.
Because you also get together at Halloween, don't you, for the big Halloween parties?
Yes. So yes, there's another example that I just forgot about. But yes, we do an annual event at the Havenhurst house. And we've been doing it for about 4 years now. And it started with BG doing a party there for his classmates. And it started as a BG party. And then we joined in the next year to do something for our mother's foundation. And then Prince, I think it was a couple years after that, maybe 3 years later, joined us. And we've been doing like a whole weekend for foundations and to help those that need help. So it's been a great thing. And yes, most of the family come by in costumes. I probably didn't count that because there's other people there.
Yeah.
There's other outside family members there. So I didn't count that as a family day. But yes, that's an event where most of the family or a lot of the family come.
Yeah, those parties look incredible. I remember seeing the posts back in October. I was like, wow, this party looks amazing. I wish my did something like that.
they are fun, and I give all the credit to BG because he decorates mazes and just puts his creative genius to it. And, he's been doing that for a while and he takes it very seriously. And I think it shows.
Yeah. Okay, so is it easier being a solo artist or is it easier when you're working with your brothers?
That's a great question that I've never been asked. I've been asked, how is it? What's the difference? But I haven't been asked, is it easier? It's easier in some ways and I'm going to guess more difficult in other ways. I'm going to tell you how it's easier. It's actually easier for me to create and record because with my brothers, it's 3 of us. So you have to decide not only what song is going to make the album, but you have to decide about parts. You have to kind of, I don't want to say get approval, but everyone has ideas. So when you're part of a group, whether it's your brothers or not, you have to make sure those ideas mesh or find a way to make them mesh. In this instance, as a solo artist, I get to kind of just do it how I think it should be done and go for it. I don't have to seek co-partners' approvals. So in that way, it's definitely easier. I know, or I can predict the touring and the shows and all that will be more difficult because I think the creative side of it may be easier. I don't know about that because, again, that's something that is easy for us. I think with the shows, I think we all are more unified because we're so influenced by our family that it's like it's obvious what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But the reason why I felt it would be easier is because for me, I've never been on stage alone. you know, and I'm always used to having brothers right next to me,
Yeah.
and you know, kind of like not cracking inside jokes, but even during songs, like we'll look at each other or smile that someone made a mistake. There's little cool things that add so much to the experience that when I eventually do my solo shows, I'm curious and in a way kind of saddened my brothers won't be there. So that's something I'll have to figure out and get through. But I hope my brothers and I get back and do shows, more shows sooner than later. Honestly, if it was okay, I'd be okay with just doing shows with them. I just don't know. I just don't think 3T will do enough shows to satisfy me. So I have to do more individual shows.
Mm. Wow. So my mum used to love 3T. And I found a poster the other day on eBay that was a poster for merch that people could buy for 3T shows. And the stuff on there was insane, but you can't find any of that today. Like, I think the only thing that I have for 3T is a Y vinyl, a Y cassette, and a Y CD. And then I have I Need You on CD. That's all I have for you guys because it's so
Did
hard to find stuff.
you showed me some pins though, right? Or buttons or no?
Yes, I have
Okay.
these as well, and I've actually sent you one of them in the package that I've sent you.
So cool. And I don't think I had seen those pins before. I'm trying to think of what poster it is. Was it us in the I Need You with the white, all white? Or was we sitting like at a bus stop and I was reading a magazine?
I cannot remember. It's in my camera roll because I was so intrigued by it. I'll have to send it to you because I
Okay.
know that it's not white. It's like black or purple or something to do with that. I don't know.
Okay.
I remember finding it on eBay and thinking it was pretty cool. Um,
Yeah. I have never been on eBay and searched 3T, but I'm sure there's some random cool stuff
that's
um,
really
that's
random.
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay. When did you realize you wanted to be a musician?
Since I can remember, Georgia, really, I think, and I smile because I realize people don't experience this, and I realize how fortunate and how unique this situation is. But when your earliest memories involve family members who are loving, humble, and giving and fun, and then on top of that, you see that everyone feels that way about them whenever you go out in public, whether it's to the store or to a park. And then you get to also see why that's the case when you go to shows by them. And I mean, when you're 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, I think you kind of get swayed into that. You're like, I want to do that. I see that special and unique. So I've always wanted to do it, and my brothers have as well. I'm the youngest from my brothers
Mm.
of 3T, and I kind of just followed their lead, and we just did it. But I can't really remember not wanting to do music. The only closest thing else I would have done, which was another huge passion for me, was baseball. I lived and breathed baseball. I was into it. It was my thing that my mother and I kind of shared. I used to collect a lot. I have so many baseball cards. So it was something that connected me and my mother. And, you know, I was pretty good at it and it was fun, you know. So it was either always for me, either music or baseball.
Yeah.
And then when my brothers were great baseball players as well, but when they decided to not go to college to play baseball and to stop it, to pursue 3T, even though I had opportunities to continue and maybe play professionally, I didn't think that was right for me to do, to say, well, I don't want to do 3T. I decided to pursue my baseball because it would have messed them up. And I didn't think that was cool. So I did 3T. And I'm not gonna lie, there were moments where I was like, did I make the right choice? Did I make the right decision? You know, not during the 3T. I didn't, that was amazing. So, but you know, when we are dealing with our issues with Sony, I was like, I'm 23 years old, 24 years old, and I'm seeing friends that I played with that I was actually a little, people say I was better than, that are playing professional baseball.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me, Georgia, because it was like I should have done that. I was like, and I love the life of a pro athlete. But then again, when I come back and do music with Stuck on You or even this, it reminds me that I'm very comfortable and happy with the decision I made. There's some power in music that people, it just connects people in a different way. I think professional athletes are great. I think they can have a big influence on people, but there's nothing like music. It really connects you. You can save someone's day. You can inspire them. You can make them happy. And that's something that I don't take for granted, and I always respect and always appreciate about being a musician.
I remember watching The Next Generation, and I think you were preparing for Taryl's 40th birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hold me on that, but you were talking about baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were talking. I can't remember what you were talking.
That's right. You're
Oh,
right, because you're right, because Taj and I made a special gift for Terrell, and we went back into like his old stuff and collection to make
yeah.
a great frame for him. And there's a lot of baseball. Like I said, it was either music or baseball. We did both of those things big time. And my brothers did too. You know, Terrell was an amazing left-handed pitcher, which is like a commodity. It's like something that they can't find. So I strongly believe he would have been a professional baseball player. And that was the hard thing, because when he decided not to go that route and just focus on music, I couldn't 3 years later say, this is my life, I'm going to do baseball. I apologize, because he would have lost momentum in his ability.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel right. So that was the decision for me.
Do you play? Do you still play, or do you?
Okay, so there's playing and then there's playing. I will go and play catch. It was a rule of mine that my kids knew how to throw a ball and catch a ball, so that I can always bond with them that way. So all my kids actually know how to throw and catch. Boys, girls, they all know how to throw and catch. So I do that. But in terms of playing legitimate games, no, I haven't played a baseball game probably in like 8-9 years. But I played after, we had a little team, my brothers and I, we would play on Sundays. We won championships, city championships. It was an adult league. And like I said, we were good players. So don't play anymore, but I miss it. I do miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any inspiration behind their names? Like, is there a reason they're called what they're called?
So my thing froze, so I missed the first half. I just heard why they're called what they're called.
So, your children, their names,
yes.
Is there inspiration behind their names?
Yes. So Rio baseball game, again, I was 12 years old, and I was playing in an all-star tournament. And an all-star tournament is one city against another local city. And I'll never forget, I played for Encino. That's where I grew up. And we were playing Northridge. And when you played in an all-star game, you had an announcer. It was more like professional. There was an extra umpire. The field was perfect. And I remember a kid from Northridge came up to bat, and his name was Royal McMacken. So when they announced it, they said, now up to bat, Royal McMacken. And I remember thinking, I was like, is his name Royal? And I was like, that is such a cool name. I was like, and I was 11 years old. And I said, that will be my first son's name will be Royal. So when I found out I was going to have Royal, I was so excited, because I already knew his name. It was already a done deal. Like, if I have a boy, his name is Royal. And, now look at him. He's a young man, and it's 20 years old, and it's just beautiful. Dee Dee's obvious. My mother's Dee Dee. I lost her when I was young. Even if she was still here, I'd probably still name her after my mother, because I love and cherish her. So Dee Dee's an obvious one. JoJo was more difficult, because for some reason, and I should say all this because this just shows you how sweet Frances, my wife, is. She just, supports me. But she wanted a name. She thought a different name would be cool. She liked Esperanza. She liked Scarlet, and which are nice names. But for some reason, I had a calling of the name Jordan, and I thought it was a stronger name, and I wanted the one thing I had, I had a fear that girls, they're so sweet, you know, they can be so sweet and nurturing. I didn't want my daughter to be taken advantage of, and I felt giving her a stronger name was important. And as especially as a Jackson, you know, I feel sometimes we attract the wrong people in our circles, and I just wanted to do all I could to give her that confidence, and I thought Jordan was a strong name. So her name was Jordan Michael Jackson because it was also right after my uncle passed, and I wanted to pay tribute to him. Didn't care if it was a girl, didn't whatever. I knew my next child would have the middle name Michael. So her name was Jordan Michael Jackson. And then in time, like a couple years later, Francis and I revisited that, and we liked the name Dallas, because we actually lived in Dallas, Texas for a couple years, or a little less than a couple years, a year and a half, and had a lot of great unique moments that were non-Jackson, that were very normal, that was true, what other people probably experience. And it was a special time for me, a special time for her, and it was a beautiful name. So we decided to change her name to Dallas Jordan Michael Jackson. So we still call her JoJo because that's been her nickname since she was a baby, but her real name is Dallas.
Wow.
And then Rio. I almost forgot my man Rio. Um, Rio is, I was at a tennis tournament, and a boy who won the championship in his age division, again, the announcer said, "Congratulations, Rio, whatever," you know, and I was like, that's a cool name. So I also liked the fact that it tied to Royal, you know, and I wanted Royal, who was about 15 or so, actually. I wanted something to tie him to his family and feel a connection to his younger brother. So Rio was an obvious name for him that we went with.
They're gorgeous names. They're really
Thank you.
unique. They're gorgeous.
I take names seriously. I have a notepad with all the options, and you know, I think it's an important thing to do, you know, is to have a meaning behind the name and to make sure your kids know where they come from, you know. So yeah, I appreciate that though, Georgia.
No worries. I do have a question. This is not what I wrote down at all. But with the name thing, I've noticed that within your family, a lot of the siblings have names beginning with the same letters. So there's you, Taj, Tarol, and then there's like Your Majesty, Jafar. So
Yeah,
what's that about?
true. I mean, even my boys with Rio and Royal and
Yeah.
Didi and Dallas. I think, yeah, I never really noticed that, to be honest. I don't know if that's an American thing. I don't know. Like Taj Terrell TJ, that's got to be my father just saying my name's Tyrion or Tito, and I want my boys to have those names. Yeah, it's got to be that. But I didn't really plan it except for Royal. Didi and Dallas is really just a coincidence. Jafar, Your Majesty, I assume it's the same thing my father had, my Uncle Jermaine had, where he wanted, because there's Jordan, there's Jamie, there's Jermaine Jr. They're all J's. So that's got to be a Jackson thing. I don't know where they got that from, but it must be a Jackson thing.
It's been on my mind for so long. I was like, why it is like that.
I never thought of that, Georgia, but I think you're right.
Okay. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is not having a united family. That's my biggest fear. I can deal with everything. I could deal with professional failures. I could deal with, you know, really everything. My biggest fear, two biggest fears. One is not being around for my family. And it's not even for me, I promise you, but like I can go tomorrow as long as I knew my kids would be okay. You know, I'm not saying I want to go tomorrow, please, but I cherish my life for my younger ones, you know. But if there was ever a time where I felt they were okay, I don't feel like I'm living so much for me, and I'm okay with that. But in the living world, what's my biggest fear is, like I said, not having a united family, not having a it breaks my heart when I hear about people who don't have a relationship with the parent, or vice versa, where a parent is, you know, 60, 70 years old and they don't speak to their child, or that breaks my heart. And that's my biggest fear. So I do everything I can to make sure my kids are strong, and I try to be firm with them, but I'm you know, sometimes having to make sure they understand I love them and that our bond is the single most important thing. So that's my biggest fear, is just not having a united family and having a bond with my family.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that family is really important to you, even through your Instagram and your
Yeah.
TikToks. Family is, you can tell, is super important to you.
It is. It's everything to me, you know, and that's why we started the family rules, because I wanted it. I mean, it started off as just trying to help people understand how valuable family is, and it still showcases that, but now it's more doing it through my experiences in our lives, and that's the plan, is to show a united family, to hopefully encourage others to have a united family. You know, when it started several years ago, I didn't know about vlogs. I didn't know about YouTube, you know, channels and stuff like that. And then now I'm starting to see it and seeing how powerful they could be if their message is right. And that's important to me. That was a big thing for us with the next generation, you know, and here in the States, when you do shows like that, they always have to have some type of drama, some issues. But I wasn't, I wanted it to be like Run's House, which is an American show that's very family uplifting. And at the very least, I wanted Jackson's Next Generation to have a family aspect to it and a family message at the end. And I'm proud of it for that, that it has some type of family unity and a family uplifting. That's super important.
There was one episode of that stood out for me family wise, and it was, I think you all went camping and Taj dressed up as a gorilla or something and made you
Yeah,
camp.
yeah.
But it was so cute because you were all together and you were all singing together and just having fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it was really, really sweet to watch, especially because my family, we get together all the time. So it was very close to home and very sweet to watch.
It's an important thing, and that was a beautiful moment. And it was, you know, it's just family. It was our cousins, and it was a cousins trip, and it was just showcasing family unity and family bond, you know. And we did everything. We put up the tent, we camped, we, you know, and it was cool for all my cousins, you know, to, and it was an experience that I know I won't forget, and I'm hopeful all of my cousins won't either.
It's a gorgeous, it was such a sweet series. I loved it. I wish
Yeah.
it was easier to watch now because I think you have to dig deep to find the full episodes now. But I've managed to watch like 4 episodes, I think.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Cool. No,
um,
I enjoyed it. I did. I thought it was, I enjoyed it as well.
yeah. And before I run over time, how long do we have?
Let's go 15 more minutes.
Okay, cool.
That cool?
Um, who is your current favorite artist?
My current favorite artist. You know, I've been listening to a lot of Sade, but if you're saying current as in who's out right now, I like, that's a tough one. I like the music of Leon Bridges a lot. He's an R&B artist. I like, I still love the music of John Mayer, who's an older artist, but he's still making great music. And I would say it's in those two for me. I listen to a lot of the stuff that's going on today. And here's another issue. Here in the States, it's so hip hop heavy. And I don't have anything against hip hop. I enjoy hip hop. But it's so hip hop heavy that other styles of music aren't shown, aren't heard. So it's hard to discover other great talent. Where I always know, and it's been my experience, that when I go to Europe, I could put on a radio station and hear a completely different sounding station. You get rock, you get pop, you get everything, you know, and I think I envy you guys because we are limited in what we know with current artists. We just know the big acts and that's it. And so I don't know where I'm going with that, but I just my options are slimmer than yours is what I'm trying to say.
I don't listen to any modern day artists.
Oh, you don't?
No. I'm
Yeah.
all Motown 80s. I don't like modern music. I really don't.
I
Um,
understand. I understand that though, Georgia. I understand it. I feel part of the problem with most modern music, it's more manufactured. It's more with the wrong intent, and there's an emphasis and a desire to do it quick. You know, because we're in such a fast society that there's push to release stuff quick. You know, to have another song ready, to have another song ready, and back then you had a song that you were pushing for 6 months to a year and an album that would last you several years before you released anything else. So I think just in today's time there's a push to do so much quick stuff that it's hindered the quality,
yeah.
it's limited the quality, and I think that may be contributing. But I want to ask you a question. Why do you not like modern music?
I was raised in a household that listened to 70s, 80s, and 90s, so I grew up on it. And I did go through a phase of listening to modern music. I was quite a big fan of One Direction when they were around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when they split up, it was like, oh, okay, well, I liked them a lot. And Michael was always there for me. Since 2007, I've been a fan of Michael. So literally my whole life, I've been a fan of Michael. So I went back to that music, and then I think about 2 years ago I slowly started to ease off listening to modern music. So if I'm humming a modern day song, it's because I've got it from TikTok. Other than
Yeah.
that, I choose not to listen to modern day music. Like all of my vinyls, my records, my CDs, majority of them is Michael, obviously, and Jackson 5. Um, I think the only modern day vinyl I have is The Greatest Showman on soundtrack, because my mum
Mm-hmm.
loves that film and she loves the
Yeah.
soundtrack. But
Great.
no, I prefer not to listen to modern music. I think
And
there's more meaning in old music.
I I'm not going to disagree with you. So I think a lot of people are feeling that way, and I think more and more people are feeling that way at younger ages. So I hope at one point we, as an I think as an artist, and when you're doing art, you have to respect the importance of quality.
Mm.
You can't just you can't just follow trends and make decisions based on trends. And I think that often happens. And that's something that I'm so grateful that my brothers and I never did. And we never would just work with the producer because he was the end producer. You know, we worked with Max Martin and Dennis Pop, and Max Martin is considered the, at least to me, the one of the greatest. I'll say one of the greatest, although I think he's the greatest, but one of the greatest songwriters, you know, one of the greatest songwriters, or at least the most success. And when we worked with him, he was like just starting out, you know. And my point is, I think as an artist, you have to do what's right for you. You can't chase. You cannot chase it. Not only is it not good for you in the long run, it's not the right move for yourself as an artist. It's just not. It won't come across right, you know.
Mm. Someone's just said something that's made me just realize something. I say I don't listen to modern music. You are literally the only person who released a song today that I listen to. Like,
But you know what? I'm gonna slightly correct you because all of my things are throwback.
yeah,
You know, I can't do a lot of the modern elements, and I've gotten asked to. I've gotten pushed to do more modern things and work with modern, trendy producers. But it's not right. If you wanted a chance for me to do it, you should have tried to get us to do that when we were teenagers. But now at this point, it's about art for me, and it's about doing what feels right in my soul. And that 90s R&B was such a big, that's what I grew up on, you know, and it was such an impact as me as a person and as a creator. That's what I want to do with other elements. You know, like I said, I'm a big fan of Sade. I'm a Hendrix fan. I'm a big fan of all the Motown stuff. So there will be stuff that comes in, but I can't lose that R&B hub, you know. And I think all my songs, even now, they all have that kind of old school vibe because of that.
yeah. I think that's why I get along with your music so well, because it is that throwback. But
Mm.
when I watched, me and my mum watched the Last Night music video when it came out. We sat there, we had it on the TV, we was waiting for it to come on. And then at the end, it showed like available now on cassette and vinyl. I don't think you realize how excited. Then I was just like, oh wait, it's kind of just planned out. I sat there, I was like, Mom, oh my God. And then she was like, are you sure it's that's actually what it means? I was like, oh.
So did you call?
No.
Okay. So we don't know. You don't know if it's really there. As of now, obviously there's no vinyl cassette.
Yeah.
But it's something that I'm thinking about doing because I think it would be a cool collector's item. And I have slowly, this is between you and me and everyone else who's watching. Yeah. I've been doing some research to try to make that happen and to, I don't know how I want to distribute. Maybe it'll be an item on shows at my concerts, but it is something I'm looking into because you're not the first person that said that, you know? So it's something that is, at first I didn't think there would really, I was, you know, we put it in kind of just to be fun and to be old school because it was an old school video, but it's so interesting to see all the response and all the reaction from people who actually want to get that. So it's something that we probably will do. That's
exciting and good to know. Okay, this is random. Where is your favorite place to shop?
That's another great question that I've never been asked. Outside of Amazon.com, I feel like I'm doing a sponsor, but you know what? I love to go to Best Buy and a store called Barnes & Noble. I don't know if you guys have it there, but it's a bookstore. Those are the two places, especially Barnes & Noble. I could be in there for an hour, 2 hours, just looking at books and reading a little of each one, deciding which one to get. So those are the two stores. But if I have to get, you know, like a big shopping place where I may have to get something for food and something for a car or something, a video game or whatever, I like Target. So, do you guys have Target?
No.
No. It's like Walmart, and I forgot the name of your guys's. In England, you have some type of shop that's like Walmart. What's that one called? Oh, that has everything.
Oh, it could be anything from Asda to Tesco's to Morrison's.
I'm thinking of Tesco's, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Target's kind of like that.
Speaking of food, how is your fast going?
It's going. It's been, that's why I keep drinking. And if you watch any of my other lives, I never usually drink because I'm not as thirsty. But I've been drinking and it's going well. You know, I'm just hours away from being able to break my fast. But overall, it's been good. It's been good for me. I actually overall feel better. I've had some hard moments of nausea, I believe is the right term. Slight headaches, nothing really bad, not bad at all. But very brief and no real hunger pains. A couple, of course, but like I'm not hungry right now. I'm just feeling dehydrated.
Yeah.
So it's going well. I am excited to eat, and I decided, although you're not supposed to, so anyone who ever decides to do an extended fast, you're supposed to eat vegetables and a healthy thing like a salad. Although that's what you're supposed to do, I decided to break my fast with one slice of pizza. One slice of pizza, and then I'm going to go back into the healthy stuff for the next several days. And then slowly, hopefully, like I said, the whole reason for me to do this 7-day fast of only water, no food, nothing, was simply to reset, you know, and to have the taste buds. I got so reliable on sugar and bad food. You know, that was my go-to thing, that everything else didn't appease me except sugar. It's an addiction. And I needed to stop that and recontrol what I eat. And it wasn't just for weight. It really wasn't for weight. The top 3 reasons weren't for weight. I wasn't feeling well. And I needed to pause that. And, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. So I have to take care of my health, and I needed a clean reset. The quarantine was hurtful for me as an eater. I gained a lot of weight, ate really bad, and I started developing some issues that didn't feel right to me. And I wanted to stop that and try to reverse it on my own before. And if it doesn't go away, then I have to go to a doctor.
Yeah. I've been watching your updates, and I don't know how you do it. I really don't.
It's hard, Georgia. I would say going to bed has been hard, and waking up has been hard. Not like it's hard to wake up, but when you wake up, you know, you feel a little lightheaded, your mouth is dry because you haven't been drinking. Those are the hardest times, you know, and there's times during the day where, yeah, something looks good, but I'm shocked because I can go into the kitchen now and not eat. I didn't think that was possible.
Yeah.
I thought I'd have like cheat, or you know, I didn't want to go to the kitchen because it would you know, it would tease me. I'm not that hungry. I don't need the food, which is for me a good thing. You know, it stops the whole sugar thing. But I am ready. Saying that, I am ready for it to be over. Some people do 20 days, which I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I don't understand how they can do that. Not that I don't understand why they do that, but you know, and for anyone out there, I always try to say this: if you're deciding to fast or wanting to fast, please make sure you check to make sure you're okay to fast. Check with the doctor to make sure it's okay for you to do. Don't just do it because I did it. Don't do it because you read something. Check with the doctor first.
Yeah. Because time's running short, is there anything you want to ask me before you go?
I want to, you know what? I more want to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I just want to tell you, I'm a big fan of what you're doing, and my girls are even bigger fans of what you're doing. I think, you know, when Dee Dee first got onto TikTok, she found you and was, you know, got into you. And I was watching many of your videos, and I love the lightness and what you're doing on there, because I think there's not enough people like you who are trying to be just positive role models for girls without, you know, doing things that kind of make girls feel like an object. And I commend you for that. And you have a talent with what you're doing. You utilize that talent to build your success there. And I commend you, and I'm proud of you. And like I always try to say when I talk to you is to keep going. You probably, maybe you're getting there, but you probably don't realize how influential and positive you are for so many people out there. And I just want to congratulate you and support you on that, and let you know that you should be very proud of what you're doing and feel good about it.
Thank you.
I mean it. I mean it 100%.
Yeah, TikTok for me wasn't ever a thing to gain followers or anything. It was a place to meet new people, spread what I wanted to say. And I remember I was never one to keep up with trends, because I do a lot of, obviously, the Michael Jackson makeup, the Jackson 5 makeup. I do a lot of videos related to your family. And for so long, people were like, oh, come on, you've got to do something else. Like, you've got to keep up with trends if you want to keep up with followers. I went through a stage of losing 50 followers a day because I kept doing videos that people didn't really want to see because it wasn't a trend or anything like that. But I did not care. I really didn't. I was losing these followers. I didn't care. And then in the end, the followers got back up. But at the end of the day, numbers mean nothing to me. It's a love.
And you know what? That's the best approach to have. That's the best approach to have. And it's similar to my approach with me as a music artist. You have to do what feels right to you. I can work with a popular artist or a popular producer to try to gain more fans. I'd rather take my time and grab my supporters, and even if it's a fraction of what it could be, I'd rather have solid and true supporters and connect with them and have a relationship with them and build with them than to have an immediate onslaught of fans and followers. And that is the right way to do it, because when you're in your more difficult times in life, when you experience that, those fans are going to be there for you. They're not going to bail on you, you know, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I commend you. You're doing it right. And that's hard for someone to say, you know, that's hard for someone at your age to understand and know, and to not get swayed by that. I don't know if I would have been able to do that at your age, but now that I'm where I'm at and what I've experienced in my life, it's the right thing to do, and I'm proud of you for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've asked everything I wanted to ask.
Yeah.
So it's been great. It went well.
It was great. I enjoyed it.
I remember
I
like
enjoy it.
5 minutes before we were supposed to go live, I was like, oh God, it might be delayed.
You know, and I apologize. And I should say this now. I may have to say it again, but I used to be able to respond to every DM I got. It was a goal of mine. It's now gotten to a point where I just can't. And I feel bad, but I'm gonna slowly have to start telling people that, because I don't want people to feel I'm ignoring them, because it's words got out that I do respond to my DMs. I just haven't physically been able to. It got to the point where it's, a couple months ago or a month ago, it was taking me 3-4 hours just on Instagram just to respond to people, and now it's more. So I saw what it was taking away from my family and stuff. So I had to kind of control that. So the reason why I'm telling everyone this is, if you're out there DMing me and I haven't responded, I'm not ignoring you. I just have to be, right for my family. And then if you're asking a lot of questions, it's going to take a lot of response. I try to shorten up my response, or I try to get back to it, but don't take it personal. So that's the most important thing I want to say.
Yeah, that's the thing I respect you deeply for, because my DMs are insane. Sometimes I don't have time to go through them, and you sit there for hours doing it. I don't know how you...
Yeah, and I think maybe when I'm back on tour, or, on flights, if, the internet's not dodgy up there, I'll be able to do it more. But right now, it's family for me, and I'm trying to balance that. So just want to make sure that was known.
Yeah. No, I think that you as an artist responding to DMs is a good thing anyway, because you have people who just don't even bother to look at DMs.
And here's the thing. I get, most of my DMs are very positive and loving and supportive, and I get some random, not some positive ones. But you have to, I always believe, I really do, that you have to stay connected to your audience. And that's, to me, like, I don't know if there was no social media, and it seems weird saying this, but if there was no social media, I'm not so sure I would have done this in a public way. That, I don't think people realize that the connection I have with my fans is a big portion of why I'm doing what I'm doing, and when I see even things like, your stuff, the makeup and the video, and other people dancing, and kids, doing reports on me and things like that, that is so empowering for me. So it's no longer just for me, and I needed that, and I need that to continue to share it and to up my level for you. So
yeah,
I will always stay connected. I just don't know how much I can respond, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No one is holding you to that like, you're a busy man. You are a busy man.
I am, but that's another thing. I gotta find a way to slow down a bit, because if you let life consume you, then you lose your life, and it's a challenging time because of everything from my music, but also my family, and the ages of the kids, and everyone's in a different spot that's time consuming, and it can be time consuming. So I have to make sure I also have time for me and Francis before more time goes, and then I'm looking back saying, where did my life go? That's something I'm not interested in doing. And you have to cherish the day, because you don't know if you're promised tomorrow. So all of that is in my head, and I'm just trying to find a way to manage all of it in the proper way.
Yeah. Like, support doesn't need to be through a DM. Like, you don't need DMs to know that people support you. Like, my money at the moment isn't amazing. I'm not getting a lot, but I take what I can get and I do it bigger. So I ordered your sticker from your website the other day, and had it put in a frame to make it bigger than what it is.
Hey, yeah. How is that sticker? Is it okay?
Yes, it's great.
Okay, cool. Cool. I like that one.
I
like it.
I love it. And I still want your tapestry. Still.
You know what? That that piece I'm super proud of, you know, because here's the thing, I don't know if people know, I don't get to physically make the merchandise or see it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I order it and I try to order it first. Like there are some items I didn't care for, so I took them off. You know, I want the quality and I want the experience to be great. And then in my Facebook group, I saw a couple of, you know, people who recently got items. And when they talk about in such a positive way the experience and the quality of it, that's what I want. I want you guys to smile and to enjoy it. It's more important than anything to me. And that's why I asked. I want to make sure you like that sticker. Because
Yeah.
if you said it's not, it's okay, or if I didn't believe you, that thing would be off in an hour.
No,
So,
I love it. Because
okay,
I
good.
use Teespring too. And I launched my stuff as a sort of, okay, I'm broke. I don't know what to do. I wasn't furloughed for my job or anything. And I wasn't expecting people to buy, but they did. And like there were
Yeah,
people posting videos on TikTok of them in my hoodies. And I was like, oh my goodness, that's my
yeah,
merch. That's
yeah,
incredible. And I was scared too because I never ordered myself anything from my store, so I didn't know what it was like. I have one thing which is over there, which again is in a frame, and it's a sticker of an artwork that I did of Michael, and it's in a frame, but that's all I've got for myself. And I see other people with a phone case, a sticker, and a hoodie. I'm just like, oh my god, the support is insane.
it's great.
Yeah, it's
It's
amazing.
great. And
Yeah,
and I feel like this is a Teespring app, but I love what I love about it is the simplicity for us to create and to put things up and to take it down. Because like if we talk about the 3T merchandise from back in the day, that was a whole process. If we wanted a picture to go up or a type of shirt, that was a 2 week process to send it, to send the idea, to get approval and all that stuff. Teespring, you can do it in minutes, and
minutes.
that's what I'm into. As long as the quality's strong, that works for me.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
it's been good. It's
It's been great.
been
It's been
amazing.
great. Georgia, I have to run, but I want to thank you and thank everyone who's watching for your support. You know, I think the world of not only you, but everyone. You guys, I've been reading some of the messages and seeing the support, and I feel like I don't know if people really understand how important it is for me at this point in my life in order to create the music and share it the way I've been. So thank you for your support, and I want to say to you, have a wonderful weekend and continue to do your magic, okay?
I will, and enjoy your one slice of pizza that you
Oh,
get.
I am. Don't you worry. I am.
Well, it's been really nice speaking to you.
All right, Georgia. Take care, okay?
Bye.
Bye.